0 in total, but Coach Montgomery said, look, we're just happy to be back here at home. We played in some tough atmospheres and buildings.
And I still think it's just too early to know. I think you're still trying to figure out what this conference looks like. Robert Morris, Detroit Mercy. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, Detroit Mercy was not expected to beat a team like Purdue-Fort Wayne, but we were surprised then. We certainly could be surprised here tonight.
Kuac going to tape the tip here for the Titans. Dickerson on the other side, we just talked about minutes ago, and it's Detroit Mercy who wins it. And that's one thing about Emmanuel Kuac, as he was coming off a 3-game absence. His hops look pretty good against Youngstown State on tape. He did play just 23 minutes. We'll see if they extend that here today if he feels comfortable. TJ Nadeau along with Jeter down to Lovejoy for 2.
That's a perfectly executed play to start out this ball game. Exactly the way you want to get it going if you're Mark Montgomery. And moving without the basketball, too. You love to see it start that way.
This is DJ Smith, one of their talented transfers. They've got a lot on this team. They're very similar to Detroit Mercy, one of the freshest teams this year in college basketball. That one is blocked off the hands of Dickerson. He's usually on the other side of that, but it's a foul, and that's something to track here early on against the Titans, because it was something that really plagued them against Youngstown State was foul trouble.
You talked about Dickerson and his ability to block shots. He's 6'7", 185. He doesn't exactly look like somebody who would rack up a lot of blocks in that category, but he is an artist when it comes to blocking shots. He had a 7-block game earlier this year. He actually finished last year at the junior college level as the nation's top shot blocker. This guy has a knack for that sort of thing.
And both are going to rim off here just a minute in as the Titans look to push, and a little bit too hard as it's turned over. So turnover is another piece to that puzzle, 16 of them against Youngstown State, but the Penguins also had quite a few in that game, so that wasn't the only reason they lost. The first 4 minutes of each half were kind of cementing what happened in that game. Score really not indicative of how much Detroit Mercy battled, but they kept battling because they were down a good 10-15 really the whole game. 8 seconds to shoot. This kind of discombobulated, but my goodness, Cam Woods works them out of it.
And to your point about the Youngstown State game, they just could not hit shots. They shot about 32%. They could not hit threes. They were 2 out of 16. And TJ Nadeau was the only player who was able to hit any threes in that game. He was 2 out of 2. And now look at him in the starting lineup for this one.
Jeter swimming his way in, and he draws a foul. You look at Ken Palm, the analytics site, these two teams in the bottom, and nearly at the bottom in offensive efficiency, so neither have really scored the basketball at a high clip. But I think really for both squads, there's more there, so that could improve as the season goes on. Kuac rips his way by athletically to the tin, but he can't finish. Fulgaris with the rebound.
Yeah, he had a good lane. He actually took advantage of it, too.
Leaned in by Smith. It went short. They get their own offensive rebound. That's Dickerson who swoops in. He's good at rebounding as well. He has about 7 per game this year. What a pass by Fulgaris as he hits Dickerson for 2.
Dickerson wanted a goaltend, and our referee under the basket said, what do you want? It went in.
5-2 Colonials. Nadeau, one of those guys that got in foul trouble last game, tucks a pass off for Jeter, drew some contact there, no call, but he did finish.
And you know what? He wanted a foul there too, but that's just physicality. That's Horizon League basketball. You're going to have to withstand something like that, especially if you're down low.
Smith back to the corner now for Woods. Below the free throw line, Fulgaris had his pocket picked there. So does TJ Johnson, though, as that one is right down for Dickerson as he slams it home.
That's the second time Johnson has gotten it taken away here in the first 3 minutes. So Johnson's going to have to be taking a little bit better care of the basketball.
Yeah, guys like Nate Johnson, TJ Nadeau, there's a lot of eyes on them. Even Jeter. I mean, Coach Montgomery said, hey, he needs to score for us. Just that's the situation we're in right now. Just 4 last game for Jeter. He's been a sure bet 10, it seems like, for a while. Lovejoy can't make that one. Fulgaris nearly lost it. Detroit Mercy's missed a couple bunnies so far in this one. Wide open is Woods. He struggled to shoot the basketball this year, and the numbers played out there.
Woods, NC State last year, member of the Wolfpack, that team that went to the Final Four, actually played against Detroit Mercy when those two teams met last year.
Johnson swings it back for Kuac, looking to spin the three. It's off. He got his own rebound, though. Lost it on the way there, and Fulgaris will run it down the floor. Good pass, and entering the hoop was Dickerson.
That's another giveaway there for the Titans. They're having a hard time controlling the basketball here.
Or check that was Woods. Woods has 5 off 2 of 3 shooting thus far. Lovejoy back to Jeter. He'll hoist that 3, no good, and Nate Johnson runs in the rebound. Titans playing really fast right now, maybe a little bit too fast. Nadu stepping through. He can make that shot with ease.
And that's what you're only asking for. Just get a clean look for somebody. When you're having trouble controlling the basketball, you're committing a few too many turnovers, just get somebody a clean look. Even if that's from mid-range, it's not a popular shot to take, but you can live with that.
Fulgaris, high arcing pass there. Looking to back down Nadu. TJ Smith swinging it around the arc. And Omajafo traveled that time to give it right back to Detroit Mercy. A crazy back and forth start to this one between two pretty evenly matched teams. 9-6 Robert Morris with the lead here on ESPN. Three-point lead for the Colonials here. 15:02 to play. 3 of 7 for Detroit Mercy, 4 of 6 for Robert Morris thus far. Let's see if the Titans make some subs. They will. Gondrzik, who has been starting quite frequently, is on the floor off the bench. So is Miles Mitchell, a guy they look to bring energy.
What's interesting about Grant Gondrzik is that for the first maybe 7-8 games of the year, pretty much all of November, he wasn't really taking much of an offensive load. And then all of a sudden, as the calendar turned to December, he's become one of the most important scoring options, getting at least 10 shots in almost every single game.
They've certainly needed it with some offense out for the year in Jared Larry and Mac Mansell. They've known about that for about a month. That's off the bottom of Calumbay. He's also into the ball game here, and Robert Morris looking to push Fulgaris. He'll make that shot more often than not. Won't get it to go as Mitchell brings it down. Lovejoy to the corner to Nadu as 3 spins off. And brought down by Cam Woods. Woods to Fulgaris. He is slammed to the floor, and that's going to be a TJ Nadu foul. Kara Wolfbauer listening in on the huddle. Says that Mark Montgomery was really preaching turnovers. I know that's been a frustrating thing for him recently. Already 2 in this one.
Well, I imagine that probably also has an overarching theme of slow starts. We saw it against Youngstown State, and that's probably what they're trying to eliminate here tonight.
We'll hear from Kara at the next timeout as well. She has some good stuff on Earl Curitan at halftime. 9-6 Colonials. Detroit Mercy gaining it back again. There's another turnover, number 3 here in the first 6 minutes. And Mark has, some pretty hefty goals. I mean, he wants his team to commit 10 or less, which in today's college basketball is probably harder than most. But look, he's holding these freshmen just as accountable as any other year at this point. They're facing yet another more experienced team here today. A lot of transfers on this team. Fulgaris spins that off. Callambay got in there, couldn't pull it down. And Ishmael Pletz doing what he does best. Big body down there and able to get the offensive board.
Well, they're going to make him earn at the free throw line. It's not a bad business plan. He's a 56% career free throw shooter, but it's not often that you see Detroit Mercy lose a rebounding battle under the basket, especially with some of the guys they had under there. Callambay, Mitchell. Did not expect to see Robert Morris pull that rebound.
It is interesting. Detroit Mercy was just out-rebounding everybody by a lot. I mean, we're talking 7-10 on average to start the year. And I was kind of looking back at the numbers. The last time we were here, which has been a good month since they played at Callahan Hall, they were +9 on the year. Now they're +4. So it's dwindling a little bit. And I'm sure some of that has to do with, some of the athletes they face. But still, it's something to track. And that's not where the personnel has changed, though, necessarily. I mean, everybody was rebounding, even Mansell and Larry, but it's something to keep an eye on, I guess, as the year goes on. Gondrzic pulling up, can't get that one to go. Is Jeter. I think Robert Morris thought it went off his fingertips, and the ref on the far side agrees. Some of that could be the foul trouble they've gotten in as well, forcing some of their smaller guards in. Because it really is a rebounding by committee for this team. Down the free throw line, nearly traveling is Cam Woods. And this is going to be is it a Robert Morris foul? Fulgaris is, he's trying to communicate something there. Not sure what he was trying to say.
I thought he was trying to communicate the Dikembe Mutombo finger wag. No, but to your point, I think one of the things that they're really just trying to do, I think once game tape gets out there, I think you do have the chance to adjust to your opponent. So right now, that rebounding margin comes down because teams start to adapt. They start to play you differently.
Here's Jeter spinning one way, then the other. That's a goaltend. Slap the back of the glass. And, was +9 really achievable by the end of the year? Probably not, especially when you have some of the Big Ten-ish teams in your schedule at the beginning of the year. But still, I mean, +4 is still pretty good considering what it's been in years past.
And this is a team that's been sorely out-rebounded for years, so +4 is not too shabby.
Blocked by Jeter. I think it went off his hands. That's what they rule.
And even in this first half, we've played 8 minutes, and it just seems like every loose ball or every pass that has been even the slightest bit dicey has just gone against Detroit Mercy. So to have all that happen and be down 2 is not a bad spot to be in.
Platt wasn't in a great position to take a shot there. Well, Majafo was, though, as he buries it. Now it's 13-8 Colonials. They're shooting 4 for 11 from the floor right now. Mitchell. Mini screen there for Lovejoy, but enough space to take that mid-ranger. Dylan Miller off the bench, heaves it over the top to Prather Jr. as he lays it in.
Wow, they really ran the floor well that time. Prather getting out quickly. Robert Morris looks to run that time. I really like the job that Prather did right there, especially that pass.
I think he's been kind of one of the steals of recruiting. A guy that didn't play a lot at Akron. He did see some time as the year started to go on, but change of scenery was good for him in his sophomore year. Gondrazic, contested shot, rolled off the right side, and there's Omojafo to pull it down.
5 straight points for Robert Morris here. Better start getting a little more careful if you're the Titans.
Miller ran into a double team that time. Omojafo back down the middle for Dickerson. Prather thought about that deep three. Omojafo, still 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Feels like an eternity right now.
And they've had nothing but options this possession.
Dickerson one way, the other patiently tucking one up. I think he thought he got fouled, but none coming there.
Great job by the Titans. Didn't overcommit.
Jeter shuffled his foot. Another turnover here for Detroit Mercy. It's 15-8 Robert Morris. We're about halfway gone by here in the Curitan Bowl.
To be Jesuit is to be more, to go deeper, sharing a passion, formed by academic rigor, classic performances, legendary character, made complete through service to others, and a faith that does justice. Jesuit basketball, mission, mind, and body, on the court and off.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish, down the ride forever. When we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish, down the ride forever. When we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish, down the ride forever.
Welcome back with us here at Callahan Hall. I'm Carol Wolfbauer, and usually you don't need a whistle to break the glass ceiling, but that's exactly what Crystal Hogan needed to leave her mark. That's right, tonight's official, Crystal Hogan, was the first ever woman to officiate a Division I men's basketball game back in 2018 as Seattle faced off against Puget Sound. And ever since then, she's been leaving her mark all over the place. Many women have been able to follow in her footsteps, but it all started back in 2018 when she was picking up some time over in the Drew League, and she ended up in a high AAU tournament where a recruiting official was paying attention and happened to catch, Crystal happened to catch his eye, and he said he really liked her determination and found her to be a great official and invited her out to do one of the first Division I men's basketball games. And ever since then, like I said, several women have been following in her footsteps. So Crystal has certainly left her mark. Jeremy, Dan?
Thanks, Kara. I think that's something that is pretty cool to see around sports these days. You see a lot more women officials in every league.
And it continues to expand. We've continued to see it, and not just in refereeing, but in so many other different and interesting roles. It's something that is needed and something that's been overdue.
10:40 to go here in the first half. It's been a rough one so far for the Titans. Shooting just 31%, their opponent's 46%. Shot clock winding down, 2 to go, stripped away, 1 to go. Dickerson at the buzzer, my goodness. Off the hands, that one looked pretty good, but it didn't fall.
It's about as clean as a look as you're going to get for being 1 second on the shot clock.
Stripped away. Omojafo has been active in this game, can't keep it in play. He has 3 points and rebounds so far. Rebounding pretty even. We talked about that early. 10 for Robert Morris, 9 for Detroit Mercy. Titans already have 4 turnovers, though, just 2 for the visitors. Halfway through this half. Godrzik gets the Jeter screen, rolls to the free throw line. That's the spot he likes to take shots. Dickerson with another rebound, though.
This is just a group that right now is trying to find their footing. They have not scored the Titans in the last 3 minutes.
Fulgaris. Wide open is DJ Smith. Back to Fulgaris. Little hook shot. Got it through.
And Fulgaris coming off a monster game against Northern Kentucky. Had 21 points and 19 rebounds in that triple overtime contest.
Dribbling out of play, and the Colonials are getting it back. Alvaro has really grown into his role. I mean, he's only a sophomore. Kind of burst onto the scene last year, felt it out, really learning how to play at this level. Product of Spain as well, but I mean, his minutes have nearly doubled, up to 29 per game this year, averaging a double-double. It's not something to laugh at. Fulgaris, good move to the hoop there and got tripped on his way there. It's Jeter who picks it up. That'll be his second. You may see Monty go to the bench here, not quite yet.
We already saw some talent from him last year. Played some meaningful minutes in that double overtime game at Robert Morris. But this season, if he keeps up this pace, he's showing himself to be all-league talent based on what he's been capable of.
Some contact there. They let it fly. DJ Smith against a much bigger Nate Johnson. Cam Wood's going to take it and bricked it. Ripping it away, Dickerson, though. And those are the ones Detroit Mercy can't give up. It's probably the same thing in the mind of Mark Montgomery as he burns a timeout here.
Well, just giving up offensive rebounds and turnovers right now. And just right now, just not the attention to detail that I think Monty usually looks for out of his team.
Detroit Mercy scoreless for the last 4 minutes of play. They're 1 for their last 7 as well. He needs some new bottoms there, huh? Fulgaris selling out to do everything he can here today. 2 points, 4 assists, a steal and a block in 9 minutes of play. That's going to be his identity in this game.
And this is just Robert Morris doing what they've always done. They are a hard-working, fundamentally strong team. Andy Toole has done a great job over the course of his handful of years at that school, and I think we've just been kind of waiting for Robert Morris to really start to become a competitive force in this league.
I agree. It was definitely surprising, you know, that they didn't have a few more competitive years before this one. This, I think, is their best team that's playing together. Lovejoy, boy, the Titans just can't get any kind of roll in this game. He is heading to the line, though.
We saw it on the first possession. We saw Orlando Lovejoy moving without the basketball, getting himself a good look, getting to the rim, scoring right out of the gate. I'd like to see some more of that in order to get the Titans some points here.
Able to hit one there. I mean, it seems like every game he's doing everything he can personally to help this team win. 23 points against Youngstown State. Does a really nice job drawing fouls, 8 of them in the last game. We've had a lot of close out-of-bounds calls so far in this one. That one stays with Detroit Mercy. They've got Johnson, Kuac, Calumbay, Nadeau, and Lovejoy on the floor right now. Dickerson, Omajafo, Fulgaris, Woods, and Smith on the floor on the other side. Nadeau put a little bit too much air behind that one, and Johnson stepped out as he battled for the board. 29% from the field for the Titans tonight. Kind of says all of what we're looking at right now.
And I think this is everything Mark Montgomery was trying to avoid from his team.
Fulgaris behind Calumbay. I think it's safe to say they're being a bit out-hustled right now, too. which is not usually the case. Dickerson didn't put a great hold on that one, but his counterpart drew the foul.
And maybe that's why you see a guy like Miles Mitchell getting ready to check back in. He is the quintessential energy producer for this team, so you bring him in, you see if you can get a spark from him. Right now, they'll take it from just about anybody they can get it from.
He's a guy that they like to throw lobs to, somebody that's a pretty good offensive rebounder, and he's done a nice job lately of piling up some more of those boards. That's kind of the I don't know, frustrating is the right word, maybe not, just for anyone behind Jeter at this point, getting minutes at the 4 or the 5 spot. I mean, it's a battle between Okoro, Mitchell, and Calumet right now for those backup minutes at this point. And each of them is getting a shot, too. Lovejoy coaxed to foul. Omajafo saying, come on now. But it's called. It is just the 14th foul on the Colonials. They'll have some players check in when we get back here from Detroit. Well, there's our fellow the book guy there. Earl was always interested to see what he read each game.
He's trying to bring his book to him. Remember, Earl
Yes,
put out a book.
That's right.
Shortly before he passed away. We'll have to see if we can find a copy and run it upstairs.
This week at Callahan, pretty busy week. Yesterday, a 67-59 win for Detroit Mercy over IU Indy. In a couple days, Milwaukee and Detroit Mercy on the men's side, and then Cleveland State and Detroit Mercy on Sunday on the women's side.
How about Kate Octor's team? Now 10-2, 4-0 in the conference.
Mitchell, a little spin around, and boy, did the offense need that.
And that's why you put Miles Mitchell in the contest. See if he can grab a couple offensive boards, see if he can get a couple of easy points, but most importantly, give you some energy and get this train rolling on the tracks.
Woods to Fulgaris, nice little leading pass, but Kuac was the disruptor. Titans will push as Johnson was streaking up. The lob for Mitchell, a little off kilter, put it too strong, and Nadeau will follow it up. My goodness. Rebounded by Plett off the bench, and Robert Morris kills another possession. Woods all the way home.
There was 2 empty possessions, one on each side that you thought could have easily gone the other way for both sides. Some tough misses on both ends.
Entry pass now for Lovejoy. He finishes. 5 for Lovejoy, 4 for Jeter. Scoring very balanced on the other side for Robert Morris. It's been like that all game or all year long. Fulgaris got that knock to the head.
That's a Lovejoy foul. And by the way, Oma Jaffo, just before we went to break, did get his second foul. So that's a pretty big second foul there. So they had to put him to the bench.
Yeah, he's been impacting the game quite nicely today. Doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, but been helping them run down the floor. 4 players on this offense in double figures. I mean, there's 2 that are just right there, too. 9.5 per game, 8.7 per game. It's a balanced offense. Fulgaris, awkward shot that time, and Gondrzic, the second, comes up with it. Lovejoy looking to heat up here in the first half.
Pretty, and he knew it. That's a smart play. He got exactly where he wanted to get on the floor.
7 for Orlando. Fulgaris, boy, I think he's flopping a bit. That one wasn't called. The hook shot won't fall. Keeps jerking that neck back, and there is a flop warning now in college basketball. You often don't see it on plays like that. It's more the charge, no charge type of calls.
Well, more so, I think that's just an indication of how Detroit Mercy wants to play against Fulgaris. Clearly, they've seen something on tape. They want to be physical. And it's not the first time we've seen Detroit Mercy try to take physicality to an opponent. So it'll be interesting. Fulgaris so far, 1 for 6 today. Clearly, it's having an effect.
Got to take advantage of that, though, at the same time. You got to get back in this ball game before he heats up. Cam Woods threw it away as he got spiraled to the ground. 4 to shoot. Plett had a steam. He traveled. Miles Mitchell was there, and now the Titans will get it back again.
Look, Mark Montgomery probably says something, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but look, you guys have 4 fouls before you have to be done for the night. Use them.
Lovejoy around the screen that time. Looking for Mitchell, it wasn't there. Orlando drew a foul as well.
That was a little scary for a minute. He went down grabbing at that, I think it was his right foot.
He's kind of stretching it out right now, too.
You saw the injury Jaden Ivey had for the Detroit Pistons last night. Boy, that was tough to see.
So disappointing for him, too, because he's been playing so well since he came back from the prior injury that kept him out for a few games. And the Pistons really starting to hit their stride as well. I mean, they're above the cut line now. I think they were 9th checking into today. So they're in the play-in as of today. A lot of basketball to be played, obviously. Kuac for 3, spun off. Nadeau went through his hands. Woods, a little bit too fast maybe. Dickerson got it back. He's been there to clean up a lot of those plays today, and Plett will draw the foul.
That's tough. Nadeau, I think, thought he had the basketball in his hands. He just didn't attack it. And I think Mark Montgomery, the coaching staff, when they look back at the tape that time, will say you've got to go to the basketball. You can't just accept that it's going to find you. You've got to go get it, and then you start the fast break. Then you get out and you run a little bit, and instead Robert Morris gets free throws.
Plett's played a good chunk of time. He's going to be about halfway to his minutes per game threshold right about now as he knocks down the first.
It's also possible that Nadeau may just have been a little winded. He's already played 12 minutes so far out of the first 17 tonight.
That's a good point because, you know, Detroit Mercy had some time off for the holiday. I mean, he only played 10 minutes against Youngstown State because of foul trouble. Still trying to get that conditioning back a little bit. That's why coaches cringe sometimes when they send guys home, but it's a nice refresh, especially for the ones who are from out of town. Lovejoy through his legs, Mitchell on the ground. The arrow favors Robert Morris, and that's the way it's going to head. Titans shooting just 30% from the floor. They've turned it over 5 times. Robert Morris has actually leveled themselves off a bit recently as well. They're shooting just 38%, but Some of their shots have counted, it feels like, pretty heavily today. Smith back to Fulgaris as Prather runs it to the middle of the floor. That shot by Miller, no good. Tapped out to the Titan bench. Detroit Mercy will take it back.
Well, if it's not Detroit Mercy that's frustrating Fulgaris, it may be his own teammates. He wanted his teammate in Woods that time, or rather DJ Smith, to fire that ball to Fulgaris about head-high level. Instead, he spiked it off of his teammate and out of bounds.
Lob looking for Mitchell, got it through the trees, pulled it back down, the hook no good. The other big man, Callambay, is there as he lays it up and in.
Good to see Ryan Callambay contributing on the offensive side. He's got some nice touch around the basket. Be fun to watch that offensive game develop as time goes on.
He should see a few more minutes today than he's used to as well. Prather from the wing, back to the corner. Titans ratcheting it up defensively a bit here. Got by Johnson. Boy, a couple guys got hands on the ball. Johnson and Mitchell that time. And Detroit Mercy has definitely put a little bit more pressure on Robert Morris here. Under 4 of the first half. A low-scoring affair between two of the more poorly shooting teams in the country.
To be Jesuit is to be more, to go deeper, sharing a passion, formed by academic rigor, classic performances, legendary character, made complete through service to others, and a faith that does justice. Jesuit basketball, mission, mind, and body, on the court and off.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
Jeremy Otto and Dan Hasty back with you here today, 24-17 on Earl Curitan Day at Callahan Hall. The Horizon League represents 11 public and private universities in metropolitan regions such as Detroit and Pittsburgh, two really fun places to visit for sure. Get a lot of exposure to professional sports, media, and culture as well. Represent kind of all the facets of that Midwest footprint. Pittsburgh's a fun city.
I love Pittsburgh. It's one of the more fun places that we get a chance to go. It's not too far away, just a quick ride to get over to downtown. It's one of our favorite spots.
2 on the 30 that time, crashed it short, and Gondrzik with the rebound. They'd love to get him going offensively. He's just 2 for his last 16 the last couple games, 0 for 3 tonight. Mitchell looking for Lovejoy, tipped. And Omajafo comes up with it. Cam Woods directing traffic. Struggled to shoot, but has passed it pretty well this year. Stripped to the ball was he, and that's going to be another one on Orlando Lovejoy. Check that on Mitchell, or on Callambay, I beg your pardon. That's his second. Either way, both of those was going to pick up their second foul.
And so your point about Gondrzik, the last time that we were here doing a game, Gondrzik really wasn't the offensive factor that he is now. So to see what he is, to take on this scoring load, it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic now that he's as important as he is offensively to do it in front of his home crowd.
Let's send it down to Care real quick.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, one of the biggest things Legend Jeter had to say in that huddle, he just kept saying over and over again, box out, and found that interesting as I talked to Coach Chris McMartin early on in the pregame, and he said that's one of the biggest things is with some of these bigs, like especially Fulgaris in the paint, their boxing out will be crucial tonight.
Yeah, 20-18, Robert Morris leads rebounding. It feels like a bigger advantage, though, just with some of the killers they've gotten on the offensive glass so far today. Gondrzik commits the offensive foul, and that will be his second of the game. So 2 for Gondrzik, 2 for Calambe, and now 2 for Jeter. Oh, I keep getting them wrong. That's on Mitchell off the ball that time. That will be Mitchell's first. That is the 9th team foul on the Titans as well. Smith to Fulgaris. They've limited him offensively so far today. Just 1 for 6. Threw it to nobody nearly. Smith catches up as it's spiked out. I don't know, Dan. Is Lovejoy kind of limping out there a little bit?
Yeah, you know, he went down hard on the other end of the court a little while ago.
Jaffo able to lay that in. 28-17. The Colonials opening this lead back up.
Titans are still looking for their first three-point shot of this contest. They cannot continue to settle until they can get some things going from beyond the arc.
0 for 5 thus far as Jeter rolls it off. Smith pushing the tempo. G.J. Smith, the transfer from Little Rock.
And I think that's been the biggest thing that they've struggled with without guys like Mansell and Larry. It's spacing. It's really hurt things in that facet. We've noticed that they've really started to struggle to find points ever since they lost those guys.
3 ball is through. Smith able to rip the twine there. He does that at a pretty efficient rate, 36%. Not something that's a heavy part of their game, at least thus far. Just their 3rd make in 10 attempts tonight. Lovejoy, boy, put him on skates. Couldn't finish in the end, though. And Orlando, after that shot, kind of touching his ankle and clearly wincing right now. That's not a good sign.
Titans have already dealt with so much bad luck when it comes to injuries this year. Mac Mansell, Jared Larry, Emmanuel Kuac, who they just got back. The last person they need to deal with is Orlando Lovejoy being hurt.
A minute 15 left in the half. Robert Morris in cruise control right now, even though they've only scored 31 points. Fulgaris to Cam Woods, passes up the 3. And that's the thing with this game. Detroit Mercy has been granted quite a few opportunities just like this. They just have not been able to capitalize on it thus far.
Sub 30% shooting the basketball right now. Shades of that Youngstown State start.
Calambe, he has a bucket today, off for Johnson from the free throw line. And pulled down again by DJ Smith. He lost it. Kuac is going to slam it.
And sometimes that's what you need, a break to just go your way, a ball to end up on the floor, to be in the right place at the right time, and maybe that gets the Titans started.
Differential pretty small here, just about 2 seconds, game clock to shot clock, maybe a little less. Smith gave it off, got it back, just hit that big 3, threw it to nobody, and Johnson says thank you. Still 7 seconds to play. Johnson galloping. They're going to call that a goaltend as well.
They'll take it with 5 seconds left. All of a sudden, what looks like a 14-point deficit, now a 10-point game and a couple of buckets late, helping the Titans' cause.
Dickerson does not have a block. That would have been his first.
Kind of amazing that we've gone a whole half without a Dickerson block.
You said it, what, he had 7 one game? 1 second to go. It would have been in time from Smith, but now Kuac comes up limping, favoring his right side. Boy, the dominoes keep falling. Lovejoy already limping himself and rolling on that ankle, and you got to wonder if that's that same knee he's been dealing with.
Does anybody here know how to play basketball?
Yeah, 31-21 as we've hit halftime. We're going to send it down to Kira now.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. First, Coach McMartin, just give us your thoughts on that first half.
It's a little frustrating. Turnovers and rebounds were key. I think early on, they looked at it and they had 17 points off of both of those. So a lot of their points are coming off that. I think we're defending them well in the half court. It's just offensive rebounds, and if we turn the ball over, then they're getting points off our turnovers. So got to stop them in transition, keep crashing. Obviously, we missed some shots. I think those will eventually go. So we just got to keep kind of fighting and clawing. Big burst at the end there to help us get to 10, and now just got to keep fighting, keep using that momentum in the second half.
Anything else offensively, adjustment-wise, you're looking forward to making in the second half?
Yeah, we just got to keep winding them up, kept getting sides. I think we get excited and try to go first side defense. They're good on the first side. So trying to get to the second side, third side, and then we can get what we want. But taking care of the ball. Can't have live ball turnovers. We're crashing the glass well, I think. But, yeah, just keep working it, and eventually our shots will fall.
Thanks, Coach. Jeremy, Dan, back to you.
Thanks, Kara. 10-point lead for Robert Morris here at the half. As we take a look at that last play here, or one of the last plays of the half, Johnson taking it coast to coast. He's trying to get himself going from the offensive standpoint, and that's what they were looking at. As Kara was talking with Coach there, was whether that was a goaltend or not, and they did count the basket still. All right, we'll talk a little bit more about Earl Curitan in a little bit. Kara will be back with that.
Welcome back to Callahan Hall as the Colonials are leading 31-21 over the Titans. But tonight is actually Earl Curitan Day here at Callahan Hall, and they're honoring the late Detroit Mercy men's basketball player who passed away just last year, early on in 2024. Now, Earl actually, before being a Titan, was a Colonial himself over with Robert Morris University for 2 years, where he is the only player still to average a double-double in Robert Morris history. Now, in finishing his last year at RMU, he had 446 points and finished with 274 rebounds before making his way on over to the Titans. He spent 2 seasons here over at Detroit Mercy, and he really left his mark, finishing his last season with averaging 20 points and 9 rebounds. Not only did the Titans continue to honor him, but also over at Robert Morris, as he is now a member of the Hall of Fame at both schools. So they continue to honor him here tonight. And Jeremy and Earl, you guys had him up in the booth with you. Jeremy, you had him up as he was your color commentator all year, and Dan, he's somebody you looked up to and talked to as well.
Yeah, it was certainly a lot of fun. That's something to this day that I miss, just having those pregame conversations. You know, we talked to each other quite a bit off the air, and I think it led to a good rapport on the air. And, you know, we wear these EC patches today. We wish we weren't, but, you know, for everything that he not only did for this program but for the community, was pretty remarkable.
You know, that picture, the one that I had with Earl that we just saw, that was the day before we lost him. I mean, that was the game against Robert Morris, and it just goes to show just how nothing is guaranteed in this life. And I remember after finding out, and you know how sometimes you go make your social media post to remember somebody, and I remember trying to go find a picture of the two of us together, and you know how you go to your phone and the picture that comes up is the most recent one you took?
Sure.
That was the photo.
Yeah.
The most recent picture I had taken was the one I had taken with Earl. And it happens that quick.
Yeah.
And Earl he was impact here at Detroit Mercy. And he was such an unstoppable force of good here. To see what he was able to impact, so many people looked up to him. So many people cared about him, and he cared right back. And all he wanted to do was just to support. He wanted to be a pillar of strength, not for attention, but just for help, to assist. And there needs to be more people like Earl Curitan, and they just don't make them like that as much anymore. So that's why we miss him dearly.
Kara, back to you as well.
Yeah, I think you guys are right, exactly. He's somebody who left quite an impact here, and that's why we get to continue this night out now. Hopefully, as Detroit Mercy keeps having basketball games here, we'll talk about Earl. He was a great person, a great friend, and a great broadcaster, and a great basketball player. Now we'll see you guys back here soon on ESPN Plus. Again, the Colonials leading the Titans 31-21. We'll see you back here in a minute.
Jeremy Otto and Dan Hasty back with you here from Callahan Hall. It is a 10-point lead for the Colonials at halftime here. Some other out-of-town scores. Wright State all over Green Bay. It's been a rough start for Doug Gottlieb in his tenure so far. Youngstown State, they're on a roll right now. They've picked up their 8th win in a row, easily handling IU Indy and Purdue Fort Wayne. Final in overtime there. That was a tight one. Northern Kentucky looking to avoid losing 2 in a row. They were able to do that 69-68. But I think what this tells you is that everything is still very much in the air, which is not up in the air, which is not a surprise, right?
How about Youngstown State also getting the #1 play on SportsCenter last night?
Did they? I didn't see that.
Shout out to Youngstown State for getting the Horizon League a little bit of national love.
Was it a dunk?
It was.
Yeah, nice.
People love slam dunks.
Have to check that out. Milwaukee and Oakland also at halftime. That's the other kind of leg of this Thursday, Saturday that you usually see. Milwaukee will come to town on Saturday as well. They're another team that's pretty transfer heavy and have pretty high expectations this year, but that's one thing for Detroit Mercy. They always seem to face a frustrated team because Oakland has given them their best game in the first leg of what feels like a doubleheader sometimes just with the day in between. Colonials 31, Detroit Mercy 21 here on ESPN. (31-21), Robert Morris in the lead here. Neither team going to write home about their shooting percentages in this first half, though. 33% for the Titans and 37% here for Robert Morris. Not necessarily a surprise, though. These two teams have struggled to shoot all year long. 3-point shooting 0 for 5 for the Titans. You see the rebounding there. You heard the hit at the end of the half from Kara, just saying, hey, we just got to box out in this one. They're, simplifying it a bit here. We'll see if that's pays off here in the second half.
Yep, Robert Morris just hit some threes, but also they got to the free throw line. Detroit Mercy only got there with 2 free throws in that first half. They got to get there a few more times.
Kuac is out there, which is a good sign. That did not look good at all as he was hobbling around favoring his right side. Johnson hits it. We also saw Lovejoy favoring one of his ankles potentially as well. He's out there.
I suppose if you're going to twist an ankle, do it as the buzzer sounds to end a half so you can get some treatment.
Smith, Dickerson, Omajafo, Fulgaris, and Woods out there on the other side, and that's the touch slam by Dickerson. 8 points for him tonight. Lovejoy. Gonna make a move. Dickerson all on him though. Still 7 to shoot. Johnson towards the basket. 4 to shoot now. Fading away from 2 as he knocks it home.
It's going to be really important to get Johnson going in the second half because how effective is Orlando Lovejoy? We saw a little bit of a different version of Lovejoy after he tweaked that ankle in the first half.
Smith. Fulgaris, catch and shoot. He likes to do that. Can't get it to go, though. He's their best three-point shooter. He's been quiet overall today offensively.
Expect to see more of that settling for threes from Fulgaris in the second half. He really tried to get low and bang in the post in that first half, and it did not go well for him.
Johnson stripped to the ball there. We saw a lot of that from both sides in the first half. No foul. It'll just be Detroit Mercy's ball here.
That being said, Fulgaris is contributing in other ways. He's got 4 rebounds and already 5 assists tonight.
Karen mentioned that, Earl Kirchin's still the only player at Robert Morris to average a double-double. He could be the one to break it. Lovejoy down once again there for Jeter. He's looking for a foul, wouldn't go. 3-ball teed up by Smith. He hit a big one at the end of the first half, and Robert Morris gets another foul.
That's not going to sit well with the 5 on the floor in the white jerseys after Jeter on the other side, and then the Titans not getting the same fortunes on their end.
That will be Johnson's first. So you got to keep an eye on Jeter, Callum-Bay, and Kuac. They each have. Actually, that was called on Kuac. It was announced as Johnson, but I thought he put up a 6 and not a 10. So Kuac has 2, Callum-Bay has 2, and Jeter has 2 fouls.
Mark Montgomery sort of uses fouls the same way that we used to use cell phone minutes back in the late 2000s.
Oh, flip phone?
Yeah, they don't roll over, so you may as well use them.
Hopefully you've used all your PTO by this time of year too. They do with the long 2 as Jeter's knocked to the ground, and he's going to get a foul based off of it. That's Dickerson.
It's a little hip check from Dickerson there under the basket.
He is physical. I mean, you talked about his lankiness. Just he doesn't necessarily look like your prime-time shot blocker, but you can understand why.
It all comes down to that wingspan. It's a much taller wingspan than you would typically see.
Kuac knocked to the ground.
And now there's 2 fouls in the span of 30 seconds.
Yeah, for Robert Morris, Omajafo was the only player that entered this half with 2. But Dickerson now has a 2 spot on the board here. Emmanuel this year, 85% free throw shooter. It's not something the Titans have done particularly well. They want their bigs to cash in those opportunities a little bit more. The Mitchells, the Callum-Bays of the world. Just 71% as a team this year. But for whatever reason, their opponents are shooting 2% less, so they've gotten a little lucky there.
Doesn't it feel like just nothing's really going the Titans' way so far tonight? But yet, it's an 8-point game. The Titans are just 1 run away. They're just hanging around.
Fulgaris, one last pass, and a good drive by Omajafo.
He's such a good scorer. He was doing all of that and then some last year at Gannon. He was one of the better scorers in all of that conference. He was an All-American in D2 last year.
Great entry pass to Lovejoy, and now he's hobbled again.
Yeah, you can just see he's trying to take extra special caution with that ankle. You can tell that he's going to be a little bit affected here in the second half, but he's trying to gut it out.
Definitely been taped up at halftime, as Kuac was as well.
I think he knows he has a responsibility. He's the heart and soul of this team, and he knows the value of being out there.
There's Dickerson again from three. His first make from three-point land tonight. They're just 4 of 13, but have had some daggers lately.
He's a 27% three-point shooter. That's a big shot for them.
Kuac answers. Boy, that net barely moved.
It's a good time to get it back right there. They desperately needed it.
Dickerson wide open. He says, if you're going to bait me, I'm going to take it. Lovejoy comes up with it. He's going to push the Temple even, bad ankle or not. There's Jeter, who's blocked, and now Dickerson. Oy, oy. He got his hand jammed, I think, into the bottom of the net that time. He is down and still down, and now they realize it. I don't even think Andy Toole realized what was happening there. Or he's frustrated they didn't get a foul call off that, but
I think it was the net support.
or is it his leg? I thought it originally was his hand.
Saw him grab the back of that right leg.
But 40-32, Robert Morris here. We'll check on him when we get back.
To be Jesuit is to be more, to go deeper, sharing a passion, formed by academic rigor, classic performances, legendary character, made complete through service to others, and a faith that does justice. Jesuit basketball, mission, mind, and body, on the court and off.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
Us here on ESPN Plus. Now, one of the biggest things Coach Monty just had to say to the guys as soon as they were coming into the huddles that they're playing too casual right now. He kept saying that over and over again, too casual, too casual. Said to stop looking for the switch and keep playing hard on the ball. I think he thinks too much of them just relying on that switch instead of really fighting through those screens right now. So I'm looking forward to see what they've got as we've got these last 2 minutes here in the game. Guys?
Yeah, it is kind of odd. I mean, you notice some tendencies maybe that have carried over from the last game, but you know, energy and effort haven't been something that's necessarily been a problem for this team, but sometimes when you get in that holiday mood, I guess it takes you a minute to snap out of it.
Well, it all comes down to ebbs and flows, right? Youngstown State is a big physical team, especially under the basket. They frustrate teams that really primarily get their points close to the basket. Titans are not shooting a lot of threes where they get their points by the basket. And now, all of a sudden, you look down and Amari and Dickerson's not in this game. Maybe they can find some success.
Kuac from three, his second in a row, and just like that, it's a 5-point game.
And it won't hurt if they can find a way to stretch the floor a little bit. That's big.
Dickerson did not look comfortable on the end of the bench. They're still, well, they've moved him somewhere, but they were really trying to stretch that out. He put a towel over his face. Cam Woods sliding to the wing now. Miller Back to Prather. Fulgaris has doubled. They may have got a sliver of a finger on that ball. And they'll reset to 20 off the offensive board. Fulgaris kind of pushing Kuac there, and that's going to go the other way. So Detroit Mercy has hit a pair of threes, both by Kuac. He's 2 for 4 from beyond the arc now. Titans as a team 2 for 7. Have a real chance to cut this game to where it really hasn't been all day. Kuac thought about it again, got it off to Johnson. Tough shot. Lovejoy finishes, or Jeter, I beg your pardon, finished it off. And Callahan loves what they see.
And now, all of a sudden, there's your energy. Now you're getting some momentum. You've got the home crowd on your side. And now you can all of a sudden see this team finding their way back.
Welcome back to Callahan Hall, 40-37. Here's a look again at that Dickerson injury. He was in a lot of pain, holding that right knee. You thought maybe he got that sneaker caught, potentially?
Well, that's the thing. He sort of got halfway upended, Jeremy, and when you get upended like that, you're sort of at the mercy of momentum. Under the basket, he had his shoe, it looked like either caught the baseline or the basket support. Next thing you know, you may end up in a situation where you hyperextend a little bit. Hopefully that's all it is.
He was at the end of the bench for a while, being stretched out. Then he was on the trainer's table. Now he is headed to the locker room as we speak here. Dylan Miller off in good space for Woods. He missed, but Plett was there to clean it up.
And Plett's going to get some really important minutes here down the stretch. He becomes a focal point to see how this game ends up ultimately going tonight.
And he's not necessarily a guy that's played a ton of minutes this year, averaging right around 16 per game. He's 6 away from his average right now. Jeter had it poked away. Kuac kept it for 3, looking for his 3rd. Wow, it just spun off. Dylan Miller with a huge rebound there as this team is up 5. Detroit Mercy on an 8-2 run. Fulgaris churned his way into a foul. Robert Morris not an exceptional free throw shooting team either. Wow, Dickerson's coming back in this game.
Look at that.
He literally just headed to the locker room. I'm not sure what they got him. Maybe a brace or something, and then they're going to put him right back out there.
So now, like Orlando Lovejoy, that we saw kind of gutting through a situation earlier in this game, question now becomes, at what percent is Amarian Dickerson? Is he going to be playing at far less than 100%? And does Mark Montgomery test that knee? Does he go after him early just to see what he's capable of?
See, he's coming in for the shooter Fulgaris here.
He doesn't look comfortable, Jeremy.
No, I thought for a minute he was like having second thoughts. Can I actually go in this game? But that's why the delay.
And I think Andy Toole's going to be keeping a close eye on him as well.
Kuac, Gondrzic, Lovejoy, Mitchell, Johnson on the floor for Detroit Mercy. Lovejoy, shot out of a cannon. Mitchell rips the rim from behind, and he got teed up.
Come on, Miles. Mark Montgomery is beside himself right now. You can't do that. You cannot do that. This is a close game. I get it. He's an energy player. You're excited. And he's going to figure that out. He's a freshman. And over time, he's going to learn. But that's just a mistake in a close game that you cannot make.
You know, Dylan Miller over there is kind of laughing with him. You wonder if he's saying, I would have done that too or something. I don't know. But it's something, like you said, that is going to be a learning moment here. And there's been a lot of them so far this year for this freshman who are getting critical minutes each and every night, and even more so with these guys banged up and injured. Twirling around Omajafo, jump ball. Boy, that was quick, and the arrow still favors Robert Morris. They won a jump ball in the first half, and now they will get this one back. (46-39). Detroit Mercy has made a run here in the second half. Just about 6.5 minutes into it. Dickerson still out there, injury and all. He's got 11 and 3 today. Catches the ball here. Crashes it to Pletz. Woods. Ooh, jockeyed one up in the air. And looks like Mitchell may pick up another foul. Yes, that will be his third. So Mitchell and Jeter now have 3, 2 of your big fellas here. Haven't seen much of Callum since he picked up his second.
So to Mitchell's credit, they do show a little bit more life with him on the floor tonight. So
Sure.
They do have that going for them with Miles Mitchell on the floor. They just got to find a way to contain that and channel it in the right way. It was a 3-point game just a few moments ago, and all of a sudden now Robert Morris has found a way to get that back up to an 8-point game. So now all of a sudden the potential for this really to bleed out or to balloon all of a sudden gets to be a little bit more dangerous here.
Woods misses there. Kuac, paddled it a little bit too much, and now they're going to say it's off Kuac there too. We have seen a lot of 50-50 balls on the baseline today. DJ Smith going to chuck it in with still 27 seconds on the shot clock. Smith down low. Fulgaris a little hard off the glass, but he did get the roll.
That was a straight hustle play to get that possession for Robert Morris, and you got to be impressed by how much they wanted it right there.
Kuac and Lovejoy. Lovejoy at the free throw line, drew a foul and banked it in.
And he's doing it on one leg, Jeremy. I mean, he is continuing to find a way to contribute and to make sure the team follows his example, however he can leave it out there.
This doesn't exactly compare because it's a different injury, but remember when Antoine Davis's shoulder popped out and he hit a big three late in that game? I forget who that was against, but
Cleveland State. That was when Cleveland State was the top team in the Horizon League. They'd already sewn up the regular season conference title.
49-42 here, 12:30 left. Dickerson, hot pass. Omajafo able to reach out like a wide receiver. Couldn't chuck it in. Dickerson got a second hack at things, and Mitchell pulls it down.
Big possession here.
Woods was behind the play. Lovejoy trying to take advantage. He does. Little teardrop step through. Big smile on number 5's face after that one, too.
Now we're talking. Now it's a 5-point game. You're right back in it.
49-44. Getting by Orlando, and a step through falls there for Cam Woods. Woods now has 12. Lovejoy going right back at it. Wow. Out of the crowd, he smiles again.
Look what I found. Good play, and now all of a sudden Orlando's starting to find that rhythm that he had early in this game.
Titans shooting 60% in the half. They shot half of that in the first. Fulgaris down low. Dickerson missed it. Rattled Tanadu.
And that might have been a product of that leg not feeling so good. He didn't have the same explosion there into the basket. Mitchell was able to handle it rather easily.
This group of Lovejoy, Calumbay, Mitchell, Nadeau, and Gondrzic II doing work right here. Calumbay in a tough spot, though. He's got to give it up. 10 seconds to shoot. Lovejoy's got it. Backs away. Finally missed. And a run for Cam Woods. They got in the right person's hands there. Smith will, I think, alertly slow it down. Smith for three. Missed it. Gondrzic II with the rebound.
They've got to get Gondrzic going. Still without a point in this game. He's been such a huge force for them offensively. And with 10 minutes left to go, they need to get a consistent offensive game coming from somebody here down the stretch to add in to the Orlando Lovejoys of the world.
Foul there is going to go against Fulgaris. That will be his second. His team up by just 4. Detroit Mercy has hit 4 of their last 5 here in the second half. 51-46 Colonials in this one as we welcome you back to some Horizon League basketball tonight. Well, Horizon League is really focused on amplifying the student-athlete voice this year through their Team Impact initiative as well. Pretty cool what they do with that program. Always awesome to see how those young ladies or young men respond to a situation like that, being kind of put in the environment of being a player and with the team. (51-46). Nate Johnson back off once again here for Gondrzick as Dickerson took that one away, testing the athleticism after the injury, and he laid it in. Oh, watch out there. Kind of jawed at Gondrzick. (53-46) now, 9:43 left. Kuac, offensive foul. The Bluebirds are out here in Detroit.
I'd love to see that one again. That one didn't really look as if Kuac was going in with a full head of steam, but that's a smart play if it was from Amarian Dickerson.
So mark that one down. 9 and change left here. The lead already 7. This feels like a big possession for Robert Morris. Catch and shoot Fulgaris. He has been ice cold tonight. Just 7 for a guy that averaged a double-double.
2 of 9 tonight.
Jeter in a tight area there. Drew a foul. Hit in the face, he says.
And Dickerson's now grabbing, looks like his right thumb. He's all kinds of beaten up right now. And that's probably one of the reasons he just committed that foul. He's not moving well. He's not able to do what he normally does. Even you saw him that dunk on the other side. He just did not look comfortable. He's not playing the same way that he's probably comfortable playing. And now another Robert Morris foul.
This one on Prather. Prather now has 2.
It's the last foul that Robert Morris had to give.
Yeah, not necessarily a spot you want to be with a spot you want to be in. Sorry, with 9 minutes to go here. Nadeau forward to Jeter. Nice lay-in.
Dickerson might have blocked that shot if he was 100%, but Jeter was able to step through him, and that's a really savvy play from legend Jeter.
8 for him, 16 for Lovejoy. Smith trying to get a big one off. He had one in the first half, has missed a few here in the second half. Jeter adjusted, hooks it through.
Pretty.
53-50. It's the second time it's been down to one possession.
We talk so much about guys when they play with 4 fouls, they play differently. When you're also trying to nurse an injury, you also play differently. Titans are really trying to attack Dickerson right now.
Omajafo from the free throw line. Lovejoy got wrestled to the ground. And that's on Dickerson, as you'd expect. And that's going to send.
They called that on Nadeau.
Oh, wow. Delay play to tell Mark Montgomery to step back a few paces here. Nadeau has stayed out of foul trouble today. That's something he's been in really quite a bit the last few games. Dickerson for 3, rolled off, and Lovejoy was there. Jeter was pushed off behind the plate, catches up now. Ooh, Johnson thought about the spot up 3. He's got Omajafo in his eyes here. Detroit Mercy wants a good shot. Good decision, but they nearly lost it with 14 seconds left on the ticker. Just about everything developing here in the second half. Some more injury news, some physicality is picked up, and we've got a one-possession game. Strap yourself in.
To be Jesuit is to be more, to go deeper, sharing a passion, formed by academic rigor, classic performances, legendary character, made complete through service to others, and a faith that does justice. Jesuit basketball, mission, mind, and body, on the court and off.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish, down the ride forever. When we ride, we gon' ride together, so together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish, down the ride forever. When we ride, we gon' ride together, so together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish, down the ride forever.
Horizon League student athletes have major experiences in our league, including NCAA Division I competition and championships and exposure on ESPN platforms like you're seeing here tonight. To learn more about the major experiences provided by the HL and our members, visit horizonleague.com/brand recharge. 53-50. Colonial still in the lead, but they got to be shaking in the boots right now. We did see Dickerson come out at that last media timeout. Not a surprise, though.
And he's still on the bench, still in his jersey, but you could tell that some of the coaches were consoling him on the bench, and who knows how much he's going to be able to contribute from here on out. He gave it a go. I don't think we've seen the last of him yet.
Well, let's face it, this game is important, but the stretch run of the conference season and all the other games are just as important. So if you're really fearing he may get injured, he might just sit out the rest of the way. Nadu down the 10. 53-52.
You know, the Titans' only lead in this game was when it was 2-0 to start this game. It's been a while. Now it's a one-point game.
Cam Woods chucks one. Nice catch by Ishmael Plett. Huge hoop for them. Detroit Mercy has made 6 of their last 7, though. They're red hot. Little patented floater from number 5. Why not?
Gotta love Orlando Lovejoy. He's making it work with what he's got. He's playing the hand you were been dealt.
18 and 5 for him tonight. Has the team lead in points. Tied for the team lead in rebounds with Nadu. Great pass, Fulgaris. He's passed the ball pretty well today, just hasn't been able to score it.
That's tough. Plett, they've got to account for him. Right now, he is the most important player on that Robert Morris side.
He's an experienced guy as well. Graduate transfer from Oral Roberts. Lovejoy again. He can't miss. Detroit Mercy might just put some pressure on the inbound here. This is the lowest it's been in the half.
And you have to imagine, since Mark Montgomery took this timeout, which is just a 30-second, by the way, this is because he's tired of trading baskets.
Sure.
He is tired of seeing the same problems on the other side of the floor. He doesn't want to see Ishmael Plett go to the basket and be able to get an easy lay-in. He's having these conversations directly with some of his more athletic bigs, whether that's Emmanuel Kuac, who, of course, it's a little bit tough because he's also coming back from that knee injury, but maybe it's also to get somebody else into the contest, maybe get him some more help. But they're going to have to find a way to get a little bit more size and maybe a little bit more strength under that basket to counteract that.
That's a nice hat. Traverse City Pit Spitters there.
Look at the pit spitters getting some love tonight.
It's one of the more undervalued logos out there.
Traverse City. There are worse places that you could spend your time.
No doubt. Used to be the Beach Bums up there too in the Frontier League. Now the Northwoods League. 57-56. Colonials on top here. 6:13 to go. Dickerson back in there. Omajafo threw it away. No, they're going to say it was tipped, so no backcourt violation. 5 to shoot. Woods off the inside. Lovejoy in a perfect spot to take it. Rushes to the front court. The lob for Johnson wasn't ready for that. Dickerson fell down again. Nadeau for 3. Lovejoy looking for their first lead since the first points. Couldn't get it. Prather to Fulgaris. All kinds of spinning here. Dickerson ran into Johnson, who he says was just straight up. And that's foul number 1 on one of the young freshmen for the Titans. Kind of resetting the foul trouble for the Titans. 3 for Jeter, Kuac, and Mitchell each. Haven't seen Mitchell in a while here. Dickerson may be in his own head right now. 68% free throw shooter. It doesn't match up with his field goal percentage, which is 53 coming into this game, but does make the seconds to extend it back to a full 2-point lead.
It's tough when you can't do what you want to do, when you can't play the way you're comfortable playing. His identity is kind of an acrobat, a shot blocker, a disruptor, and he's just not able to play that way right now.
Kuac to Lovejoy. He's not a three-point shooter, otherwise he would have taken that. He's a driver for sure. And trip from behind, and that will send him to the line. The 7th team foul on the Colonials. Detroit Mercy has 7 as well.
That's 3 straight games of 20 or more for Orlando Lovejoy.
20 on the nose right now, 9 of 15 from the floor. This will be his 4th free throw attempt as well. It's a 1-and-1.
So cool. For those of you who don't know the story about Orlando Lovejoy, growing up, he used to run the stairs in the upper deck here at Callahan Hall. And if you've ever even just walked the stairs here, you know that running the stairs, walking is a workout. Running them is nearly impossible.
I wouldn't want to run down them because one trip and you're probably on the floor.
You got to grab those seats. Make sure you don't go down with it.
Tie ball game. Woods off for Prather now. Spinning around Omajafo. Cam Woods tucks one off for Fulgaris. Ripped through 2 that time. Woods with 7 to shoot. Wow, big time shot there.
What a slice right through the heart of that Detroit Mercy defense, and a great pass by Fulgaris.
Lovejoy, Kuac, Johnson, Nadeau, Jeter, the 5 battling on the floor right now for Detroit Mercy. Lovejoy all the way home. Boy, that was way too easy if you're Robert Morris.
Boy, he's just taking over right now, putting this team on his back. And this is what Orlando Lovejoy does for this Titans team.
22 and 7 to go along with a pair of assists as well. Wide open, Omajafo. Another offensive rebound, nearly lost it. Woods a bit out of control, and a block is the call against Nadeau.
But what was TJ Nadeau supposed to do right there? I mean, he essentially got ran into, he got ran over, and TJ Nadeau gets hit with the foul.
That elbow nearly coming up and drilling him as well. Makes the front end of the 1-and-1, 61-60. For Nadu, that's number 3 on him now as well.
But look, Jeremy, this is a situation where it's a 5-10 team, and the Titans have lost 5 in a row. Robert Morris has won 3 straight. They're 9-5 on the year, and yet it's basically who wins the last 4 minutes of this contest.
Dickerson on the floor but hobbled. Fulguera is still on the floor as well. He struggled offensively, has passed the ball well. We'll see how this all plays out. Lovejoy, the hottest hand of anyone right now. Crosses over, slices it through. We're tied again.
He is growing up moment by moment for this Titans team, and he is feeling it right now.
Mark Montgomery, he started that floor slap. Lovejoy is just smiling, hoping he gets the ball back. Omajafo against Nadu. Rimmed off. Lovejoy's got it. Orlando tucking one through.
He cannot be stopped. Orlando, look at him go. This is the Lovejoy show.
Woods through traffic. Tucked it in as well. What a shot by Woods. Well, we're exchanging ties basically right now.
Lovejoy 12 of 18 tonight.
28 for him. Jeter back to Kuac. Guarded by Dickerson. Kuac hooked it in and out. The rim not kind to him that time. 2:28 to go. What a finish to this one. Woods lost the basketball. Plenty of bodies there for the Titans. Nadu behind the back to Nate Johnson, heads to the line.
Freshman to freshman behind the back. Are you kidding me?
2:16 to go. We head to the final media timeout of this one. Still a lot to be decided. Well, what a second half for Orlando Lovejoy. He's our player of the game thus far. 28 points, 12 of 18 from the floor, and 8 rebounds.
And he is the heart and soul of this Detroit Mercy team. They were looking so desperately to find somebody who could embody this program. And how lucky were they to find somebody like Orlando, who was playing just down the road in Ypsilanti at Eastern Michigan. He comes over with all the knowledge of the world. He even told us when he was being recruited by Mark Montgomery, he actually told him, he said, you know what? You don't have to show me around campus, because he thought he actually knew it better than Mark Montgomery. And now he's here And he is doing everything that you thought he could do the moment he was running the stairs in this building as a young kid.
That should be a segment. They should, kind of take him around and do a name that or something. You get 5 seconds to. Well, he's 2 away from his career high in points, tying it. He had that in the Detroit Mercy uniform against Rhode Island.
And remember this, too. He also tweaked his ankle in the first half. So you have to imagine that he's not totally 100% right now, but you would never know it based on how he's played in the second half.
Yeah, Kara Wolfbauer
check out what's going on here in the
whispering
background.
in our ear that because the Titans are sweating so much, they've got to put full detail, including Mac Mansell, who's added a thing to his resume there.
Well, he is out for the season, so he's adding some new responsibilities.
Other duties as assigned. 64-64, 2:16 left. They send a 65% free throw shooter to the stripe here. Haven't had a lead since it was 2-0. That changes.
That's big for Johnson. Just 65% shooting free throws this year to get a shot like that. That's their first lead since it was 2-0.
Titans have been good in limited sample size from the line tonight as well. That's now 7 of 8 makes.
That's big for Nate Johnson. Even bigger for the Titans.
Let's see if anybody steps up here for Robert Morris. They are just 1 for their last 11 from 3, so it's probably not going to come from there. Woods thought about it. Fulgaris looking for options with 2 minutes on the game clock. He was blocked, disrupted, loose, and just stripped away by guess who? Mr. Everything here tonight.
And this Callahan Hall crowd is loving the effort that they're getting from their leader tonight.
Guarded up top by Omajafo, who has 3 fouls today. Jeter, 3-ball, wing, rimmed off. We saw that a couple home games ago when he knocked down some big ones down the stretch against Purdue Fort Wayne. Woods all the way and gains the tie right back for the Colonials there.
Didn't take much time, but the Titans have a chance to answer back.
A minute 4 left. Lovejoy feeds it through again. Number 5 unconscious today as he ties a career high.
And I'll tell you, there is a wry smile on the face of that young man, the native of Detroit. He knows what he's doing right now, and he knows that he is capable of willing his team to a victory on their home floor in a conference game.
Well, that smile has been there for about 7 minutes of game clock. He's like, oh, yeah, that one's going to go in, and that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. And, yeah, I'm going to rip the steal, and I'm going to get my 9th rebound, a season high.
He's 13 of 19 tonight.
Woods on the other side leads Robert Morris with 20. He has 4 fouls as well. No Titan has 4. 3 each for Nadu, Jeter, Kuac, and Mitchell right now. 68-66, Detroit Mercy with the lead again.
Let's get a stop here.
Cam Woods off for Fulgaris. Guarded by Jeter. Fulgaris drew a foul on Legend there. That will be his 4th.
That's going to put an 81% free throw shooter to the line in Fulgaris for a couple of really big free throws.
Where he's 3 for 4 tonight, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 blocks for Fulgaris.
To your point, he's been out of sync tonight, Jeremy.
Does roll one in there, 68-67 with 48 ticks remaining.
Hasn't stopped Andy Toole from using him more than any other Colonial tonight. He's got a game-high 35 minutes.
Keep in mind, Robert Morris just played a 3 overtime affair with Northern Kentucky on Sunday as well. Not sure they really want to go back to that. Titans will slow it down a bit.
Could go 2 for 1 here if they hurried. Otherwise, they're going to have to settle for a shot here and then give Robert Morris the last chance.
Trey Mercy has 1 timeout left, 2 for the Colonials right now. 10 seconds left on the 30. Lovejoy, tough shot, missed it. Patty kick back for Nadeau. They're going to say it's off TJ, but they're going to review. 21 seconds to go. It'll be interesting what comes out of this.
They have got to look at that play.
Probably not an easy play for any of the officials to see.
Here's what'll be fascinating about this. Regardless of who gets the possession, whoever gets it is going to get it with the shot clock off. So if you get it, you get the chance to win it.
Did it go off that knee? Nadeau definitely contacts it with the hand, it looks like. Right there.
But does Prather's hand get it after Nadeau touches it? With either the hand or the knee?
Not sure this one is going to be definitive enough.
Wait, watch that knee. Watch that leg. You're watching what our officials are seeing right now. It does bear in mind that this is a Robert Morris team that has now played overtime games, whether it be a 3 overtime game against Northern Kentucky or the last time these two teams played at Robert Morris, a double overtime game. What do you think, Jeremy?
I feel like it's just going to stand because I don't know that there's a definitive look here, and the call on the floor is Robert Moore's ball.
I will say this, the longer this goes, the more I think Detroit Mercy's got a chance of getting out of here with the possession. We need a rules analyst is what we need.
Each ref has had a look at it a couple times and a few more than that. I think that one is the one that they're going to have to rule from, probably. It almost does look like that ball redirects, though, as it
does.
gets
It
towards
looks
the
like
knee.
it may have gone off of one of the knees of Prather. And that's why this conversation, I think, is going on as long as it has. Otherwise, I think this would have been a very quick discussion.
They're sticking with Robert Moore's ball here. .68-68, 21 seconds left. Shot clock obviously turned off. They've added a little bit of time as well. Maybe that's why it took a little bit longer. 21.7 now on the ticker. Robert Morris here in the second half has shot at just 41%. Titans have been 20% better, but it all comes down to this. Woods with the ball. He's struggled to shoot it all year. He's been pretty good tonight, though. Their leading scorer is 7 of 15 for 20 points. 8 seconds left. They trigger now. Folgueras with the screen. 4 seconds left. Lovejoy got a piece. Woods fading back, no good. I don't think that one will count, and it's a wedgie anyway.
Oh, no. We'll take it.
Wow. 68-68. We're heading to overtime with a couple Hobbler players, a couple players with 4 fouls. The man that just took the shot has 4. So does Legend Jeter, who's a big piece of Detroit Mercy's team.
Robert Morris knows nothing but overtime.
We'll see if they can get their second straight victory in OT when we get back. 68 all, 5 minutes or more coming up after this. Jeremy Idle and Dan Hasty back with you here from Callahan Hall in Detroit, where the score is 68-all, and we're heading to overtime here. Oakland has 2 minutes left in the second half of their game versus Milwaukee. That's 60-46 OU. They've kept that one pretty low scoring. Kebble with 15 for them and 9 rebounds, 14 for Isaiah Jones, the former Titan. But now the question is, as you begin this overtime period, if you're either side, I mean, do you go right at the players early on that have 4 fouls and try to knock them out?
I think you can. I think right now, given what Detroit Mercy has had to do to get themselves back in this game, I think you like the idea of having to play 5 more minutes. Titans have already played 1 overtime game this year. That was against Niagara. That was probably one of their biggest wins over the course of this year. So I like their situation. Not only do they have a player that they're going up against in Woods that has 4 fouls, but also a hampered Amari and Dickerson. I like where the Titans sit going into the OT session. They just got to hit some shots now.
Kuac goes against Dickerson, and for the second time today, he wins the tip. Woods trying to steal it away, but Lovejoy is going to hold on. He's already tied his career high of 30. Captured earlier this year at Rhode Island. Nadeau to the free throw line. Oh, the freshman nearly knocked down a big shot, but Dickerson saw it spin into his hands.
Tough night for Nadeau. 2 out of 9 for him.
He has relatively kept himself out of foul trouble, which is something that Mark Montgomery talked about him at length heading into this game. Omajafo back to Prather. Hasn't taken a lot of shots today, has Prather. Fulgaris to Dickerson. Runs down the lane and lays it in.
Notice Dickerson's playing with some tape on that right thumb.
Yeah, the thumb and the knee, something we're watching here. Kuac, deep 3, baked it in! 3, huge one for number 6 tonight.
And it's been Kuac. The only 3s of this game have come from Emmanuel Kuac tonight. He's got 3 of them.
Fulgaris again. No look pass and a foul. If that's on Kuac, he's fouled out. Or sorry, Jeter is the one with 4. That would be Kuac's 4th. So Kuac does pick up his 4, so that's something to look at. So both players with 4 on the floor. The one with 4 for Robert Morris out there as well. He's their leading scorer in Woods. Dickerson, got it.
That's your 2 bigs now playing with 4 fouls. So how do you adjust? If you need to adjust, if you're Mark Montgomery, do you just roll the dice? There's 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. I don't think Monty really makes any changes at this point.
I don't think so either, just because this group has been so gelled together at the end of this game. Gondrzic the second is back in here as Dickerson makes 2 huge free throws. He's evading the numbers today at the line. 68% coming in, but some big ones down the stretch. 1 point lead for Robert Morris. Jeter with those 4 fouls. Dickerson playing him tough. Jeter spun off. Huge rebound by Omajafo. Now Robert Morris looking for a good shot. In control a little bit here. Dickerson too wild off the back of the glass. He's still on the ground trying to avoid some step-ons. Now that puts him behind the play. Mark Montgomery wants him to push because of it. Didn't get there in time.
Great job there by the Titans at the basket. Not to foul there. That was Kuac. That was Jeter, and they have 4 fouls apiece.
Lovejoy back to Jeter. He'll take that 3, but not this time. Kuac even deeper this time. Pinged high off the back of the iron.
Jeter wanted so badly to go up for that rebound, but then he realized he had 4 fouls and thought better of it. Smart.
Fulgaris with the up fake. Omajafo puts it down to the floor and draws a foul. It goes against Lovejoy, who has just 2. 3 on Nadu, 3 on Mitchell. Mitchell hasn't played much here late in the second half. Omajafo makes another big free throw, so that is now 21 of 27 tonight. They missed just 2 in the second half at the line. Feels like a pretty big one to a full 1 possession lead, 74-71. Lovejoy hasn't scored in a minute. Two minutes left in overtime here. Orlando saw 2 bodies collapse, and they get a bailout foul, though. I don't know about that one.
That was a tough one and a late one at that. If it's not a whistle, that's an easy 2 points going the other way for the Titans, and that could have been a real pendulum swing in this game. But when you're Orlando Lovejoy and you're having the kind of night that you've had, you sort of earn whistles in a game like this.
Maybe the tumble added to the fact that that one was going to get called. This is a 1-and-1 shot, and he makes it. Ooh, he kind of cripples over after that one as well.
That's a career high now for Orlando Lovejoy, 31 points tonight.
5 makes it the line. He's 5 of 6, 9 rebounds. That surpasses a season high as well. 1:58 left. This to trim it down to 1. Dickerson to inbound. Robert Morris again will take the crawl approach here. They've had the lead most of overtime. Omajafo all the way, high off the glass. No, swatted at by Kuac. Dickerson was there. Prather to the outside now. Spun around. Omajafo got by. Is that the hook and hold, though? It is. An emphasis in college basketball the last couple years, and it comes to bite Robert Morris down the stretch here.
That's a great call right there. Nadu was just simply trying to hold his ground, and that was a play by Omajafo that he sometimes can get away with. Not that time. The Titans able to stand tall. Now they got a chance to take the lead.
That's Omajafo's 4th, so him and Woods have 4 now. Titans with Jeter and Kuac in that area as well. 1:20 left. Johnson trying to make something happen. Orlando Lovejoy all the way, too strong. Some contact there, not enough though. Dickerson in trouble. Jump ball goes Robert Morris's way, unless they call the foul here.
Oh, they did call a jump ball. Oh, wait. They called a foul.
Take a look.
How do they call that a foul? Jeter just tried to tie it up for the jump ball.
So your referee put up 5 fingers, but was that to say that Jeter is falling out, or that it was on Lovejoy? I mean, there's no way it's on Lovejoy because he's not anywhere near the ball. Mitchell is going to check in, so they must be saying that Jeter has fouled out.
That's on Jeter. I mean, he simply tried to go tie up the basketball to get the jump ball. And now he's done. That's a tough break.
Boy, every jump ball scenario today, it's favored Robert Morris. That doesn't matter here, and it's still going to favor them because the foul was called. So Mitchell checks in for the first time in a while here. He had his moments at one point in this game. Did get a technical after yelling after the dunk. Dickerson's free throw is up and good.
Well, to your point, Mitchell's got a chance to make up for that. I mean, those 2 free throws that came from his technical became very important in this contest. We're playing overtime right now because we were tied after the 40 minutes of regulation. And now Miles Mitchell finds himself in a situation where he can make a play to make a difference in this game.
So Mark Montgomery calling timeout. They've got 1 left. Colonials with 3 at this point in overtime. Some big shots by Lovejoy especially, and Kuac from 3 have gotten us to this point. I mean, it had the feel of last game, but I mean, they didn't face the deficits all throughout, like in that Youngstown game. I mean, they were fighting to keep it below 10 most of the time, but extra surge. It was kind of that 8-0 run that really separated in the second half that allowed them to start to dream of winning this game, but this is a big free throw once again for Dickerson. His team has made 23 of 29. Make it 24 of 30.
He's got 20 points tonight, especially after that injury he had in the second half. Got it hard not to be impressed by what he's done.
Lovejoy, Nadeau, Mitchell now. Kuac and Johnson on the floor. 55 seconds left. Found Nadeau. Was patience, and it pays off for the freshman.
Great play, but now you need a stop. Titans are going to have to buckle down on the other side of the court.
Feels very similar to the end of regulation as well, although it was tied at that point. And a timeout for Robert Morris. Why not? With still 3 to burn. Oh, chatted up with 42.7 to go, and just 7 seconds chiseled off the shot clock here as well.
Well, I don't want to speak for anybody, but it didn't take exactly a lip reader to see what Mark Montgomery wanted as they brought the ball across half court before that timeout was called. Simply said, 1 stop. And, you know, in this game with everything being on the line at this point, you got 42 seconds left. And it'll be interesting to see if Robert Morris decides to try to go 2 for 1 here just to guarantee themselves a possession. But all in all, I'm interested to see, not only to see if the Titans get a stop, but I will say this, to the credit of this game, we were talking about turnovers a ton in the early going of this contest, and both teams really cleaned it up, including Detroit Mercy. They had a bunch of turnovers early on, but right now, and we just showed it on the screen a moment ago, 10 turnovers for the Titans in this entire game. It felt like they had 10 turnovers in the first 10 minutes today, 9 for Robert Morris. It's actually turned into a really clean game tonight. Which means it's the perfect time for Detroit Mercy to force a turnover.
We've seen some big ones tonight. 8-7 the scoring. Robert Morris here in overtime. That obviously reflects the 1-point lead for the Colonials. We're going to tick down some of this clock, you'd expect.
Just not a 3 here. Anything but a 3.
Fulgaris still 10 to shoot. Got it tipped. Woods was there, stripped again. 3 on the shot clock. They take it back and a foul on Dickerson.
And there's your turnover, and you're getting free throws. You get 2 because of it.
The 4th foul on Dickerson. Detroit Mercy has a shot to take a lead.
Now, a little pros and cons here.
Yep.
You get chances to take the lead. You get 2 shots. You got Emmanuel Kuac at the line, but Robert Morris is going to get the basketball back with a chance to win this ball game. So these free throws will have a lot riding for Detroit Mercy and for Emmanuel Kuac.
You wouldn't gander at missing the second, would you? I don't think so. Kuac makes the first. 76-76, 22.5 left.
36 minutes for him. You think that knee is healthy?
Healthy enough. Got it.
Here we go.
22.5 to go. And a situation like this with the game tied, they missed at the end of regulation. Woods going to drive quickly. Missed in the end. Tip for the rebound. No good from Woods. Out of bounds to Detroit Mercy with 11 seconds to play.
Robert Morris wants to look at this. Are they going to review it?
Well, we saw that review earlier. It remained a Robert Morris ball at that point. Call on the floor is Detroit Mercy ball, so that's important to note here. We never got confirmation whether the call was confirmed the last time or if it just remained the same because of inconclusive evidence.
That's not going to take very long from the looks of it, Jeremy.
No, they've already ruled.
And it looks like it hasn't. They already, we can hear it all the way from here already saying white ball, but they're going to get all the officials involved just to make sure everybody sees what we just saw.
If nothing else, I mean, there's no harm in Andy Toole asking for that, obviously, but it does give them a shot to say, hey, here's what we want to do on this to try to get a steal.
And it works like a timeout, right?
Sure.
If you're Mark Montgomery, you can draw up a way to get the basketball inbounded. Robert Morris is a very fundamentally strong team. You know that they are ready for inbounds plays. So you have to find a way to make sure you get the basketball in, not just get the basketball in, but get it into an effective shooter. So can you get it into an Orlando Lovejoy or an Emmanuel Kuac, somebody that you trust in a situation like this? That's going to be so important because of the guys you have on this floor.
Not sure if Detroit Mercy made any subs. Right now they've got 6 in the huddle. Gondrzik is one of them. It looks like he is going to come into the game here.
And Miles Mitchell comes out. So that's the trade-off you make in a situation like this. Now you wonder who inbounds the basketball. No one's exactly reporting to go do that. Take your time, guys. They also put a half second back on the clock, 11.5.
So Johnson will take it.
The freshman.
2 other freshmen on the floor with him, Nadeau and Gondrzik the second. Running the baseline a little bit. He got it in. That's goal number 1. Got to get it across. Goal number 2. Kuac has it, and he's double teamed and fouled by Prather here.
I cannot believe that Robert Morris did not foul Nate Johnson right there. To Robert Morris's own detriment. I mean, Johnson, a freshman, still figuring things out at this level. I would imagine if you're Andy Toole, that would have been a guy you would have loved to have put on the free throw line. He's had a great start to his college career, but now they put Kuac on the line instead.
5 for 5 tonight. He can make this a 3-point lead as Mitchell is in for defense for Gondrzik. He's going to check into that block as well.
They had a chance. Johnson had the basketball, and eventually it ends up as Kuac.
5.4 seconds left. Still a lot of time. Misses. Crash to Prather now. Woods. And hold on. We've got a timeout for Robert Morris. And
now, the question becomes, where did that timeout come? Was it in the backcourt or was it in the front court? Mark Montgomery is adamant that that timeout came with the basketball in the backcourt, and there's a big difference between where that timeout was called.
Andy Toole almost acting like he didn't take that, or they didn't take it in general, but somebody had to have. Or maybe he was just arguing that they were in the front court. I'm not sure.
They might go look and see exactly when the whistle was blown and when this timeout was called. If this is in the backcourt, that's a big, big difference, and it's going to be a lot harder for Robert Morris to get the shot and the look they want. Well, that's a tough time to miss a free throw.
.2 left.
They're saying that Robert Morris gets it in the front court. They've got enough to get this in and put the ball on the floor. So you can't just expect that this is going to be a catch and shoot, Jeremy. Don't commit. Don't get in the air right away.
Fulgier is probably their best catch and shooter, but he hasn't been on tonight. 9 points, 0 for 4 from 3, 2 for 11 from the floor.
Good timeout.
Montgomery wants time here. They are out at this point.
They also put 0.2 of a second back on the clock, so now instead of 2.2, 2.4 seconds. for Robert Morris.
Calambe checks in as another big body here. Legend Jeter is already fouled out. Kuac has 4. Robert Morris has 3 players with 4. Dickerson, Omajafo, and Woods.
What did Stan Van Gundy say once upon a time? You've got to build a wall. Got it. That was what he said.
Yes. Kind of too bad he didn't work out more here, huh?
I'm sure he worked out.
78-76. 2.4 left. Kind of had every inch of this game examined with several late replays. Been a lot of close out-of-bounds calls throughout this one as well. Detroit Mercy certainly got a lot better in the second half and beyond. They shot just 33% from the floor in the first, 61% in the second half. Not great here in overtime, and only 6 attempts or 2 for 6, but doing enough to have a 2-point lead here. The man that just checked in will guard the ball. Calambe. 3 more freshmen on the floor. Omajafo over the top to Folgueras, tipped to his left. 3 no good, and Detroit Mercy holds on. 78-76 the final.